Leave a like, and since I'm feeling generous today, I'll give you nothing. What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new story. Today we got a story, a high school story of this girl who does something really just crazy in class. Well, it's actually this girl and this guy. They get really cocky and super reckless, and they do something that, let's just say, you shouldn't be doing in class, plain and simple. And they get caught because they're idiots, bro. Yeah, with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to call the subscriber who submitted the story. We're going to call him Michael, right? So anyways, Michael, this is the first day of sophomore year of high school. And Michael was like, he entered this new class. He was looking around for people to sit with. Michael already knew that he didn't have anyone in his class that he was already friends with. So he's trying to find some people who he may or may not wanted to sit with. Maybe want someone who wanted to get to know. I don't really know, man. But anyways, Michael sees in the very back corner that there's this guy and this girl. The guy seems cool enough. You know, the girl's kind of pretty, right? So Michael's like, you know what? I'm just going to sit myself down in that corner. I'm going to talk to those guys. Like, they seem cool, right? So Michael goes down, sits in that corner, and they immediately are like, hey, what's good? Like, my name is... I'm not going to give them names because I'm going to mix up the names like 100% because you guys already know I'm always mixing up the names. But yeah, you know, Michael was kind of taken aback by how nice they were right off the bat. Within like a couple minutes, like the teacher's talking, the guy leans over. He's like, dude, I already know this is going to be the slowest class, which like the material that the teacher was saying was pretty underwhelming. He's probably like going right into the topic like right away, which like it's better when teachers kind of ease you into it, you know what I mean? Like it's better when the teachers are kind of like, you know what, today it's syllabus day, you know what, it's syllabus week. Some days I wish it was syllabus month, but hey man, you can't get everything you want. But anyways, right, so, you know, Michael's sitting back there, and he seems to really like these guys. And for the next week, you know, he sits back in the same spot. You kind of got those, within the first couple weeks, you kind of get those unassigned assigned seats where you always sit in the same spot, and while it isn't your assigned seat, man, if someone comes and takes your unassigned assigned seat, that's almost worse than taking your assigned seat, bro. In fact, it's much worse. But anyways, after about a week, that's when the two kids that, like, you know, Michael thought were pretty cool, they started to do some stuff that, you know, Michael was a little bit sussed out about, a little bit suspect, right? So I don't know if like, okay, I got to be careful when I say certain words. Oh, also, genius, 1000 IQ dream Bed Wars move right there. But anyways, so I have to be a little careful when I say certain words because I don't want YouTube to get super mad at me. So I'm just going to say it very quickly, and then I'm just going to say something else. So you guys know what a vape is, right? It's like one of those things that, you know, you suck on, and that's totally definitely not sus or anything. So we're going to call that the sus stick. Yeah, we're going to call that the sus stick because I'm an 11-year-old boy and thinks that's funny. But for the rest of this video, we're going to call that the sus stick. So anyways, Michael wasn't a fan of the sus stick. He always thought it was kind of stupid. Like, you know, he's like, kids are only doing that just to be cool, and then they get addicted to the sus stick. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's a little weird. Like, I'm just not trying to do that. And Michael didn't necessarily look down on people that did. He just didn't really like it. He's just like, if someone whips it out, like when he's like chilling with them, he's definitely not going to think more fondly of them, but he's also not going to, I don't know, just like decide to ignore them or say like, we can't be friends anymore or something ridiculous like that. But anyways, the guy out of the two girls, I'm so stupid. The guy in the corner, because there was a guy and a girl, right, that Michael was sitting with, you know, he whips out the sus stick and he just takes a rip at the sus stick in class. And Michael kind of looks over, kind of just like, what's this dude doing? Because, like, the school had a very strict policy when it came to anything like that. Like, they wouldn't just come over and take it, right? They wouldn't just come over and take the sus stick away from him. They would take the sus stick away from him and slap him with some crazy in-school suspension or something. So Michael was kind of just like, why? Because, you know, a lot of kids would go into the bathroom to take a rip at their sus stick or something, or they go back outside during recess or break or free period and, like, hit behind the school near the dumpsters or something. But this kid was just blatantly doing it in class. And Michael was kind of taken aback because he thought this was really stupid. And while the guy, like, he didn't know much about him because he's only known him for a week at this point, he thought the guy was at least smarter than this. But obviously, Michael wasn't going to, like, raise his hand and be like, teacher, arrest this man! You know, or something stupid like that. But he's just kind of chilling there, and he's kind of just like, why, bro? Like, that's kind of, like, unnecessary, but whatever. And so, yeah, this kid is just, like, full-on taking rips of his sus stick during class. And Michael thought, like, several times during that day alone that the kid was 100% going to get caught. because he'd have it in his mouth, his teacher would start to turn around, and the kid would quickly take it out of his mouth and put it in his pocket. And he'd have a cloud of the sus stick smoke in his mouth. And, it was like one cough away from blowing the whole cloud everywhere. And, Michael was just like, this dude is just this dude wants to get caught at this point. But Michael still keeps going back to the back corner, because other than the few times one of the two, the guy or the girl, would rip their sus stick right in class, other than that, they were, super cool to hang around. They were, funny individuals. They were genuinely funny. They were, a good time to be with. Michael just was now kind of aware that it was kind of a risk to be with them. And let me just say a little piece of advice. Even if someone's cool like that, if they're being risky, and low-key you can get roped into the riskiness, just find someone else, man. It's better to be safe than sorry, in my opinion, when it comes to that stuff. Obviously, don't cut someone off because they're making a bad choice, but if that bad choice could really negatively affect you, then you got to make sure you protect yourself. Dog-eat-dog world out there, as we'll see in this story. These kids are not as cool as Michael thinks. But anyways, so Michael's still sitting back there. Things are things are good. Things are whatever at this point. And that's when these kids get really cocky. And when I mean really cocky, I mean super freaking cocky, dude. Because these kids start to believe that they're kind of I don't know, basically gods, right? They can do whatever they want, man, and no one's going to tell them otherwise. So these kids decide that they're going to take it a step up. So no longer are they deciding to rip their sus stick in class, right? They're deciding to do something a little bit more intense, a little bit more risky, a little bit more extreme. So we're going to call this the sus stick 2.0. Can't believe I'm saying this shit, bro. We're going to call this the sus stick 2.0. And instead of there being what is normally in your standard sus stick, this one is made a little bit differently, and there's a certain grass lawn clippings, but not actually grass/lawn clippings. If you know, you know. If you don't worry about it. It's not super important to the story. I just can't be too specific. So if you guys know a thing or two about sus stick 2.0, which just has the lawn clippings, not what it normally has, you know that stuff, that definitely comes with more of a smell. The sus stick 1.0, you can't really smell that stuff, or at least I haven't been in, I can't. There's no situations I can remember where it leaves a really strong, poignant smell, right? It's mostly just you see the vapor and whatever, right? But the sus stick 2.0, that stuff, quote unquote, reeks, right? I'm just going to call it smells, just in case YouTube's AI is a little too smart for me, right? That stuff smells. You can smell that stuff, man. And that was one thing I think these kids were kind of stupid about it, because we'll just tell the story. When Michael gets into class, he sees the kid, and normally the guy sits right next to the girl. So the girl sits three seats to the window, the guy sits one seat to the window, and then Michael slides into the window seat in the way back. This time, the girl was sitting where she normally sat, but the seat next to her was open, and the guy sat next to the window. So Michael was like, all right, that's fine. He wants to mix it up today, taking my unassigned assigned seat, but it's good, bro. And there was a reason why. There was a reason why, which is just, it gets bad. Anyways, so Michael sits down. It's about 10 minutes into class. And the teacher's doing this thing or whatever, and the kid next to Michael, the guy's like, dude, take a look at this. And he takes out a sus stick 2.0. And Michael's eyes light up. Because he's definitely seen kids, rip the sus stick 1.0 in the school bathroom or whatever. And that's kind of ooh, edgy or something stupid, right? But he's only heard of kids ripping a sus stick 2.0 in school. That's a much bigger deal. And you get in a lot more trouble, too. And he's like, there's no way this kid's about to do this in class. He's definitely just showing me that he has a sus stick 2.0 on him. So that's oh, I'm so badass or whatever, right? Not that I'm going to do it right now, because obviously this thing smells and the smoke's a lot more intense. But that's when the kid who's next to Michael takes out a lighter. And Michael's just there's no way. This kid's bluffing right now. 100% chance this kid's bluffing. But then click, flame comes up, he lights it, and he just kind of gives a look to Michael. And Michael's just looking at a look right back at him of just complete fear and dread at this point. He's like, this kid's gonna screw us all. He goes in, kid takes a puff of the sus stick 2.0, and dude misses the window. It's a disaster. So I think his plan was that he was just gonna blow it out the window, because that's why he wanted the window seat. Man's a cougher. Man starts coughing. Just like the smoke goes everywhere. It smells so bad and so strong. And immediately the teacher looks up because the kid starts coughing. And the teacher just sees a cloud of smoke, and the smell starts to like reach corners of the classroom really quickly because the kid basically blew it all over the classroom. This guy obviously was like pretty inexperienced with this stuff, which in high school you should be inexperienced. You shouldn't have any experience, which I know is just like you guys are going to do what you want to do. Just don't feel rushed for any of that. And definitely if you're in a situation where you feel pressured, you're not going to be seen as lame if you're like, I'm good, bro. Look, make them an excuse. An actual genuine valuable piece of advice is just tell them that you're sick, and unless they want to get like your sickness, and just explain how you have like crazy diarrhea or something. Just explain if they don't want to give their sickness, they better not pass it to you. Genuine advice from the Connor Pugs channel. But this kid just blew it all over the classroom. So the teacher's like you three. Like he kind of looks in the back of the room, and then he points to the girl, the guy, and then, of course, Michael, who's just sitting in a cloud of smoke at this point. Like, you three, go up to the front office right now. I can't believe I just saw what I just saw, right? And Michael starts to, like, kind of give a look of, like, I didn't do anything. And he's like, you three, up now. Go now before I drag you out of here, before I kick your butts out of here, right? So, the girl and the guy are kind of like, oh, shoot. And Michael's, like, freaking out at this point. So they walk up in dead silence to the front office. Michael doesn't say anything. The guy, who's pretty embarrassed because, like, not only the guy was going to get caught either way, but he just made it so much easier at this point. This guy basically played himself, but he just made it. This guy's embarrassed. The girl is just freaking out as well. They make it up to the front office, and Michael doesn't want to snitch on them, and he has no intention to. But when he's asked if he did anything, he's going to say no. And he's assuming that maybe the guy isn't going to confess, but at least they're not going to say that he did it, right? So, they get up to the front office, they sit down, and, the principal or whoever's, disciplining them is like, hey, we got a word that, someone was, doing something they really shouldn't be doing in class, where he got confirmation that, there was something there. And also a detail I forgot to add is the teacher went up after kicking them out of class and basically made sure that he confiscated it was pretty clear the Sustic 2.0 is out there. So he basically confiscated it, had it sent up to the office. So they're like, we got proof as well. We know they're just like, who was it? It's all three of you. You can all admit there's all three of you, but we know it was at least one of you. So Michael's like, well, it wasn't me. But Michael doesn't go on to say that, is the dude, because he's not trying to rat this guy out. He still thinks he's pretty cool. He's on good terms with him. But that's when Michael basically just gets blindsided. Because this guy says, I hate to be that guy, but Michael, it was you. And Michael just turns to him and just gives him a look of just, are you serious? Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment Dora down below. And if you want to support the channel, the best thing you can do is after watching this video, binge watch a bunch of my older story videos. It helps get the channel out there. In the pinned comment section is a playlist of all my stories, so that's a good place to start. If you are binge watching my old videos, make sure to comment down below telling me so I can heart your comment and say thank you. Anyways, let's get back to the story, as it's getting pretty good around now. So right, Michael has just been backstabbed at this point. He just said that he didn't do it, giving a perfect opportunity for this kid to basically turn around and say, yeah, no, it was Michael. It was all Michael's fault. Because now Michael's going to be in a position where it's either going to be he said, she said, where Michael's like, it wasn't me, it was him. And this guy caught him off guard. Because Michael genuinely thought this guy was cool. And there's nothing cool about, doing the stuff he's doing in class. Honestly, I see that as, a stupid thing. You're an idiot if you do that. But he at least thought he was going to be cool enough not to, try and, get him in trouble when he didn't do anything. I get that, Michael understands this kid doesn't want to rat himself out, but also pinning the blame on someone it wasn't is just, it's crazy. That's crazy. That's wrong. That's going, a whole new realm, right? That's crazy. But anyways, Michael is just in complete shock, and the girl backstabs him too. And she's like, yeah, Michael, I'm sorry, but, we all know it was you. It's definitely your Sustic. And Michael is just so shocked. And the principal / disciplinarian, whoever it was, right, is looking at Michael and is like, Michael, is this true? It's good for you to be honest at this point. You got two people saying it was you. It's going to be a bad look. But that's when Michael, it clicks in his head. He knows exactly what to do. And he turns to the two of them and says, last chance to tell the truth. And the two of them are holding strong, like, Michael, man, you're digging yourself into a bigger grave, like that, like you should just admit it, man. Like, we all know it was you. But Michael had an ace up his sleeve. I don't know why these other two guys didn't think about this, or the guy and the girl didn't think about this. Like, I think this is kind of obvious. But Michael just pulled the, okay, test us then. And this kid's face on the left of Michael just drops because he totally forgot this was an option. Michael was like, test us then. Yeah. All right, I'll pee in a cup. I don't care. Yeah. Test us all then. We'll actually see who's telling the truth then. And the principal's like, all right, well, it's a process, but Michael, if you really don't want to, like, admit now, like, sure, we can do that. And Michael's like, no, we'll see who's actually telling the truth and who's lying. And at this point, the kid next to him, like, it just kind of gives him a look of, like, why would you do that? Which Michael finds hilarious because, look, Michael wasn't going to, like, throw this guy under the rug initially, right? He had no plans on it. But the guy and the girl just completely backstabbed him here, and he couldn't, like, not do that, man. Like, he has to protect himself at a certain point. And these kids were not on his team. They weren't for the boys. They weren't for Michael, man. So, yeah, that's tough. All I can say is, sucks to suck, bro. So, yeah, sure enough, they all, like, pee in a cup or whatever. And while they're waiting for the results, which takes, like, hours or maybe in a day or something, like, the kid's like, why would you, because, like, they're all in the same room together or something. He's like, why would you do that? Why would you say that? Like, I'm going to get in trouble now. And Michael is just so flabbergasted that this kid would have the audacity to say that Michael's in the wrong here. And Michael turns to them and said, I had no intention on getting you guys in trouble. Like, first of all, it was your stupid mistake to blow that thing in the room. Like, that's, like, why? And second of all, look, when I went up there and they questioned me, you guys saw it. I didn't rat you guys out. Or I didn't rat you out, points to the guy. Like, you did it. You're responsible for your own actions. However, I wasn't going to be the one to call you out. But then both of you decide that you're going to make up a story and try and throw me under the bus. And the kid's like, Michael, man, you don't understand. Like, I already have, like, a strike against me. If I get another one, it's bad news. And Michael's like, bro, I get it. That sucks. But that's the risk you took when you did what you did. Obviously, you've been on this. This is not your first rodeo, man. You've done this before. And it's like, I'm not going to take the fall for you like that. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to push you under. Like, I'm not going to throw you under the bus. But I'm also not going to take the fall for you on this. And the guy's like, bro, I thought you were cool. And Michael's like, same thing, man. And then they're just, like, in dead silence for the next, like, 30 minutes. It's like one of the most uncomfortable situations Michael's been in for a while. But it's much better than being falsely accused and thinking that he's actually going to take the punishment. He's going to take all the crap for that, right? That's a much worse feeling, at least. So the next day in class, like, test results come back and they're sitting there, and Michael is now sitting in the front of the room. And the teacher's kind of, like, sussed out with all of them. Like, he sees them all walk into class. The reason why they all walked into class was the results hadn't come out yet. And, so the two of them are, like, the guy and the girl are sitting in the back of the classroom as usual, and Michael's sitting in the front now. He's not sitting anywhere near them. Teacher kind of makes note of this mentally. And then on the loudspeaker, it's like, Ben, can you come to the front office? Let's just say Ben's the name of the kid in the back. And Ben just kind of, like, walks up, and everyone turns around to look at him because they all know what's going on, right? They know that this is the walk of shame. And Ben knows his time is done. So this was Ben's second strike, and this was a 2-strike school. So the reason why Ben was so quick to throw Michael under the bus was because he knew that, like, he was going to get, like, full on expelled at this point. This was not his first rodeo. And yeah, man got full on expelled. So the girl kind of had to sit in the back of the classroom alone for the rest of the semester, or however long the classes went, maybe their trimesters, I don't know. And Michael felt a little bit bad. Like, he felt bad for the kid. He felt bad for Ben that he got suspended. But he also didn't feel too bad because Ben tried to throw him under the bus, and that's just simply not cool. So moral of the story is, don't do stupid stuff in class. Don't do stupid stuff in school. If you do that, you'll be just all right. So leave a like on this video right now, and I'm not even kidding. A warm plate of cookies will be outside your door, dude. Leave a like. Nah, but what's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new story. And just imagine this. Imagine you're going to school. You're not super excited to be there so early in the morning, but hey, man, you got to learn your algebra. You got to learn your grammar. And yeah, while you're there, all of a sudden you walk in on one of the most unholy, disgusting, revolting, unchristlike scenes you have ever seen in your life. And at that point, you honestly just wonder what even your life is anymore. Well, yeah, today we have a story submitted from a subscriber that went exactly like that. So sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel if you're new and like stories, maybe grab something to eat, and with that all being said, let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Harrison. And Harrison had a friend. And by the way, Harrison was like, they were juniors in high school. They were kind of like middle of the way through high school. And anyways, Harrison had this friend who we're going to call Ben. And Ben was not a bad looking guy. You know, he was, you know, he was attractive enough. He was personable enough. He had a good personality. He could talk to the ladies. But for some reason, man, Ben, not Harrison, Ben just had a really bad string of luck. Like, Harrison really didn't know why, but he just kept on getting no's. And, you know, Harrison was really down on himself, dude. But this all changed one day when Ben, Harrison's friend, met this girl who we're going to call Emily. And Emily was not a bad-looking girl herself. However, she was kind of known as being a little bit crazy, or at least a little bit more intense than the average individual. I think we all know that one person who's just like, I don't know, just the things that they do kind of make you question their sanity at least a little bit. You know what I mean, man? But anyways, right, eventually, you know, Ben and Emily were talking, and yeah, Ben was able to break his streak of bad luck. You know, Harrison, being one of Ben's good friends, was actually quite excited for him. He was a little wary about Emily because he did know that she was kind of a psychopath. A little bit, not like too much. Just a little drop of clinically insane, scary person. Just a little drop of that, right? And anyways, things are going pretty well at first. However, you know, Harrison is noticing that, you know, Ben never used to play it risky. Ben was one of those good kids that would never get in trouble and always, like, you know, bring their teacher a nice polished apple, would always get like an A on his grammar quizzes. But yeah, no, Ben was starting to do, you know, a little bit more risky stuff. He decided one day that he was going to skip class with Emily. And by the way, you know, skipping class in high school is a lot different than skipping class in college. Skipping class in college is just, it's almost part of the experience depending on your class. However, in high school, man, like I don't know, that's not a good idea. So, you know, Harrison was noticing this, and, you know, Harrison also, you know, with like Emily's like, oh, come, you know, after school and, you know, smoke this plant with me, or you know what I mean? And Harrison's like, okay, man, like, or Ben's like, okay, like, sure. And yeah, so Harrison was kind of realizing that, you know, while it was cool that his friend finally, like, you know, was feeling a little bit more confident about himself, the things are just simply going a little bit better with him. But the problem is, right, you know, this girl also wasn't great news. Like, she just wasn't great news, and probably wasn't great for Ben. And this all really climaxed one day when, you know, Ben was sitting down at the lunch table, or maybe they were outside, who knows. They were chilling at some point, and they had this conversation. Ben kind of brought up that, you know, he and, you know, his now girlfriend, Emily, were talking about, you know, going to the next stage in their relationship. Doing something that, you know, just, you know, it's like holding hands, but you might have a child if you're not careful. So not holding hands. I'm just going to dance around what it actually is, but I'm sure you guys can figure it out. So, you know, Harrison's like, well, that's cool. Like, that's a big step. Like, congrats, bro. About to lose your card. Like, congratulations. And that's when Ben kind of dropped a bombshell on Harrison that, you know, she actually had intentions that she wanted to lose it in a special place, man. She wanted it to all happen in a very special place. And where is this special place, you might be asking? Well, she was suggesting the school. And Harrison was like, bro, no, that's such a bad idea, dude. Like, first of all, that's not, like, no, just go to your house, or go to her house, or just find some place that's not the actual school, dude. Because first of all, that's probably not going to be very comfortable. Second of all, you are definitely going to get in trouble because someone is definitely going to walk in on you. It's just Murphy's Law at this point. And yeah, that sounds like a terrible idea. And Ben was kind of like, yeah, but she really wants it to be in like a funny place. Like she wanted it to be in like a haha funny, like, oh my God, in the school, like that's hilarious type place. And at this point, Harrison was looking at his friend. He's like, dude, you and I both know that this is like just a bad idea in general. And Ben was like, yeah, but I really want to do this. And honestly, if she thinks it's going to be fine, I trust her. And in Harrison's head, he was like, that's like your first mistake, bro. Like, why you trusting her on this is a terrible idea. But anyways, right, Ben is like, you know what? I'm probably going to do it. Just wish me luck. And Harrison's like, all right, well, when are you guys planning on it? And because they were at, let's say, recess or something, or they had like 10 minutes before class, Harrison's like, or Ben's like, oh, dude, like in 10 minutes from now. And Ben's like, huh? He's like, yeah, well, I mean, Emily and I are going to be skipping class again. And since everyone else will be in class, no one's going to be around to find us. And at this point, Harrison's like, well, no, that isn't completely sound. Kids go to the bathroom, and there are definitely teachers and faculty and like cleaning staff or whatever. They're definitely walking around all the time, and they're not in class, so that's not. He's like, dude, don't worry about it. Ben's just like, I'm chilling. We're chilling. I just want to let you know. I'm happy for your concern because I know you just want the best for me, but bro, you got to trust me on this. And Harrison was like, all right, man, like, you do you or whatever. So anyways, Harrison went to class. And, he didn't really think that much of it. I mean, he's thinking about his class right now. But yeah, later on that day, like this other kid who Harrison is friends with, let's just call him Will. Will comes up to him. He's like, dude, did you hear about Ben? And Harrison's like, what? Because Harrison just assumes that like, oh, maybe rumor got out that, Ben did something pretty substantial at school, if you know what I mean, right? And he's like, no, dude, like, it's crazy. And Harrison's kind of like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, apparently, like, this teacher was walking by down the hallways, and they heard these, like, weird noises coming out of the janitor's closet, and they opened the closet, and Ben and his girlfriend just fell out of the closet completely naked, and they got in so much trouble, dude. I heard they're, like, suspended for a week. And Harrison is like, oh, my God, dude, I freaking told that kid not to do that. Like, I literally told him that he's going to get in trouble and he should have just waited. And like, why on earth would he do it in school? And that Emily girl is a bad influence for him. He would never do anything like that if it wasn't for her. And, Will's like, dude, I know, but like, that's pretty funny, right? Harrison's like, no, like, Ben's my friend. I didn't want him to do that. Will's like, bro, like, I mean, it's kind of on him. And Harrison's like, yeah, it's 100% on him. But anyways, I got to go find Ben. So yeah, anyways, the school day is over and Harrison, takes out his phone, calls Ben, and Ben picks up. And Harrison's like, bro, I heard like some stuff went down. And, Ben's like, dude, I'm so screwed. Like, yeah, they called up my parents. I'm suspended for a week. Like, things are not good. And he's like, well, I mean, and Harrison's just like, well, like, I mean, how did that even happen? And Harrison's like, I don't know. Just like the door opened, we fell out, and there's a teacher just staring at us. Like, it's crazy. And Harrison kind of said, oh, like, so what's the word with you and Emily? He's like, yeah, we're still good. Oh, by the way, we're going to be going to Jason's party later in the week if you want to show up. And Harrison's like, dude, like, aren't you going to be grounded at home? Like, you're suspended for a week. I'm sure your parents aren't happy. And he's like, yeah, dude, I'm just going to slip out my window. Like, I've never, like, snuck out of the house before, so they don't even check, like, whenever, because I was suspended, like, or I was grounded for something else a little while ago. Dude, they don't even check. Like, I'm just going to slip out my window, and, like, Emily's going to be there, and we're going to go to Jason's party. At this point, Harrison is like, dude, who even is this Ben kid anymore? Like, this is a totally different person. Harrison's like, all right, man, well, I mean, I don't want you to get in more trouble with your parents, but I guess, I guess I'll see you there then. So you guys might be thinking that the craziest part of the story just already happened, but that is actually incorrect because the story gets even worse at Jason's party. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, I want you to comment janitor down below. Definitely not because so-and-so fell out of the janitor's closet, but maybe because of that. So that's the secret word of the day. Comment janitor down below. If you don't know how to spell that, you can just comment like just hi or hello or just comment something. I'm going to try and heart as many comments as I possibly can. And then also, I just want to say thank you guys so much for recently just boosting all the videos. And the way you guys can help out the channel that helps more than you can ever imagine is literally just watching old videos in your free time. Like, just go to one of my playlists, binge watch like 10 videos, and please let me know in the comment section when you're doing this. I can't get to every comment, but genuinely, I try and heart and reply to as many comments as I can that tell me about, hey man, like I just watched 5 videos, or hey, I've been drawing or playing video games, or I don't know, cleaning my room or trying to go to sleep like while watching your videos. Thank you so much. Like, I genuinely appreciate those because like it's just cool to read them. Anyways, let's get back to the story before you guys get bored or something. So yeah, Harrison is just thinking to himself like, who even is this guy that I'm friends with anymore? Like, he would never do this before. Emily's like such a bad influence. And that's when later that week, 'cause remember, they're all going to Jason's party at the end of the week. And that's when Harrison started to hear rumors that, you know, it was very, very light rumors. That, so there's this, like, kid who was on the football team. I'm just going to call him Football Guy, because if I have another name, my brain will actually forget all the names, and then I'll just have to make them up on the spot. But yeah, we're just going to call this other guy Football Guy. And there was rumors that while Emily was with Ben, that she had been heavily flirting up this guy, like heavily flirting him up. And yeah, flirting is objective because like you could just say like, oh man, I wasn't flirting. I was just like being nice to him. I was just trying to make new friends, and that's totally fair. However, Emily was heavily flirting up this guy, and there's almost no question about it. And, you know, rumors started to circulate a little bit about that, and Harrison caught word, but he's not going to, like, call up Ben and be like, hey, man, I heard people were saying that your girlfriend was flirting with someone, because, I don't know, that's a bit of an allegation. You know, Harrison was probably thinking, I don't know, she's probably just a talkative girl. Like, it probably doesn't mean anything. However, as you'll see later at this party, it may or may not have meant something. So anyways, let's skip ahead to Friday, or the end of the week, where they all went up to Jason's party. So Harrison got there, and, you know, he saw Emily walk in. And Harrison went up to Emily because, you know, he knew her and she knew him because they were, you know, related through Jason, right? And he's like, oh, I thought you were coming with Jason. And Emily's like, yeah, I just told him to come when he could. Like, I just wanted to come here early. So immediately Harrison kind of thought to himself, like, what? Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, it would have made a lot more sense for her to come in with Jason, like they were supposed to meet up. But obviously Harrison doesn't say anything. He's like, I don't believe you, dude. He doesn't say anything like that. So yeah, she just kind of, you know, walks into the party and disappears into the crowd. And Harrison kind of like hangs out with some people, but stays towards the front of the door just to kind of wait to see if Ben does make it. About an hour later, Ben makes it. And, you know, Harrison goes up to him and says, hey, what's good, man? Like, I see you made it out. Like, and Ben's like, yeah, man. Like, he's like, hey, did you happen to see if Emily got here? And Harrison was like, yeah, Emily got here about an hour ago. And he's like, weren't you supposed to come up here with Emily? And Ben's like, yeah, but then last minute she said she just wanted to get here early and that I should come whenever I can. And it's not a big deal. And Harrison kind of gave him a little bit of a look like that's a little weird, but he obviously didn't say anything because, I mean, who knows, man? Like, sometimes people just do stuff because people just do stuff for the sake of it, right? Yeah, so anyways, you know, they're all enjoying the party. Ben, Harrison, whatever. They can't find Emily right now, but whatever. Obviously, she's not doing something bad, right, guys? Right, guys? One in the chat if you believe Emily will be a nice, saint, godly girl who is nice and, I don't know, man, loyal to her man who she's going to marry and, I don't know, live off into the sunset with. No. But anyways, right? So they're just chilling out, and Harrison really has to go pee. And the only bathroom is on the second floor. This is like not the first story about a party that the only bathroom is on the second floor. Or maybe there was a bathroom on the first floor, but it was occupied. So for some reason, Harrison decided to go up to the second floor. And that's when, right, he walks by a bedroom. And yeah, the bedroom was occupied. And while Harrison wasn't trying to be a weirdo and like be like, I'm going to look in, I'm going to hear about this or whatever, he heard talking, and I mean, he heard other stuff too, but this is a PG family friendly. Okay, I can't even kid myself. I just don't want YouTube to be too big mad at me, right? So he heard a lot of stuff, but he also heard talking, or at least a few words. And it really sounded like Emily's voice. And Emily was at this party, and Emily was also not downstairs. So Harrison got really suspicious. He called Ben, and while he was in the bathroom, he's like, dude, can you just come up here for a second? And Ben's like, yeah, man, like, where are you? He said, second floor. So Ben comes up the stairs, and Harrison kind of greets him. He's like, hey, like, this might be stupid. I don't know. But just like, he's like, this might also be weird, but just like, listen. And like, Ben's like, dude, why are you listening in on that? That's weird. And Harrison's like, hold up. I know, just give it a second. And then the girl inside the room says something, and Ben's face kind of drops. He's like, dude, that sounds a lot like Emily. And Harrison's like, that's what I thought. Like, I don't really care, like, if people are doing whatever they're doing in there, but if that's Emily, then I know it's not with you, and I don't know, man. I just thought, like, how about we just chill up here for a second, and just, I don't know, right? Just see what's going on. Just see who walks out of there. And Ben was kind of on edge a little bit. He's like, I don't know, man. Like, if it's not them, it's going to be super weird. And Harrison's like, no, it's not going to be weird because we're going to be chilling in the bathroom. And he said, we're just going to be chilling. We're not going to be waiting for anyone. But if it is her, then we are definitely waiting for someone. And Ben's like, yeah, okay, I guess that sounds fair enough. Like, I don't know. I'm a little uncomfortable by the whole thing. But, like, I kind of want to know. Curiosity has gotten to me. So they wait for about, like, 20 more minutes. And this is kind of an excruciating 20 minutes because let's just say that I don't know, Jason's house had mad thin walls, bro. Like, I don't know how else to put it, but these walls were mad thin. Unfortunately, and eventually, right, they hear the door click, and they're like, okay, someone's coming out. The door opens up, and it is, first person to come out is the big football guy that I was talking about earlier that Emily was, like, flirting up the whole week, allegedly. And the next person to come up out of it was Emily. And at this point, Ben and Emily just make eye contact with each other. And Emily's like, oh, hi, Ben. How's it going? Yeah, that's how she sounds, I guess. And Ben's like, dude, I can't believe you. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? What do you mean? And the football guy's like, hey, babe, is this guy messing with you? And Ben's like, babe? And the football guy's like, yeah, dude. Like, don't be messing with my girlfriend like that. And Ben's like, what? And he's like, yeah. And Ben's like, okay, so like, quick, just tell me, how long you guys been dating? He's like, about like 2 or 3 weeks. And Harrison's like, no shot. Because apparently, or Ben had been dating her for about 3 to 4 weeks at this point. And Harrison's like, I've been dating her for 3 to 4 weeks. And the jock's like, yeah, right. Turns to Emily. Emily's just looking at the floor. And the football guy's like, wait, babe. Wait, do you have any, like, what? And she's like, I didn't want you guys to find it out like this. And they're both like, what? And the football guy was like, dude, I'm out of here. And he storms downstairs. And, you know, at this point, Ben's just like, dude, like, why? And she says, look, I thought you wouldn't care. Like, I was going to tell you. Ben's like, of course I'm going to care. You were cheating on me. Like, what do you mean I'm not going to care? She said, don't take it so serious, man. It's just high school or whatever. And at this point, Ben's like, fine, well, I guess we're broken up then. And she says, okay, cool. I'll just find someone else. At this point, Harrison's, all right, like, come on, man, come with me. So he brings Ben downstairs, and he's like, dude, I'm so sorry. And Ben's like, yeah, no, I mean, that kind of sucks. And that's when the football guy comes up to both of them. And Harrison is a little bit ready to, like, sprint out of there with Ben. But the football guy's like, dude, like, do you want to just, like, chill for a sec? And Ben was like, what? He's like, yeah, man, I mean, we both just got played by that girl. Like, I know that you're not having a good time because I know I'm not having a good time. And what ended up happening, which is pretty funny, was that Harrison, Ben, and the football guy literally spent the rest of the night having, like, one of the best nights they've had in months. Like, since they were, you know, both the football guy and Ben were pretty down bad at this point, but they were down bad over this literally the same girl. They could, like, relate immediately. It was like through shared trauma, they just became great friends. And I'm not even kidding. After that point, the football guy was like, he literally became like one of the guys with like Harrison and Ben. Yeah. So you know what? Unfortunately, one girl down, but plus one friend. So low-key a really good trade. I'm just saying. Click on the video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just